I used to believe that the worst kind of pain was losing someone you loved. But that's not true. The worst pain is looking at someone you love and realizing they were never on your side to begin with. My name is Ethan Miller, and this is the story of how my younger bro, the one I trusted more than anyone in this world, destroyed my life, and how I slowly, painfully took it all back. Not to win, not to feel proud, just to feel like I could breathe again. Growing up in Portland, Oregon, it was just the four of us. My parents, me, and my younger brother, Ryan. I was the quiet one, the responsible one. Ryan was the charming one, the kind of kid who could lie to a teacher and still get a smile in return. But I never saw it as a red flag. To me, it was just who he was. The funny, confident little brother I protected. I helped him with homework. I defended him in school fights. I even covered for him when he screwed up because that's what older brothers do, right? We weren't just brothers. We were supposed to be a team. Or at least that's what I believed. Fast forward years later. I was 29, working construction, saving every dollar I could. I wasn't rich, but I had a plan. Real estate, buying distressed houses, renovating them, flipping them. I spent 3 years studying the market, the loans, the tax laws, everything. I saved $145,000. Every paycheck, every sacrifice, every skipped vacation, all for this dream. Then Ryan came back into my life. He was 24 then, confident, smart, hungry for success. And he said the words that hit me right in the heart. Why don't we do this together? We're stronger as a team. Miller Brothers Realty. Just imagine it. And I did. I imagined it so clearly, I didn't even notice the danger hiding under the excitement. Because when someone you love finally believes in you, you don't question it. You just say yes. The first few months were good. We bought our first property, a broken-down 2-bedroom near Hawthorne. I paid the down payment. Ryan handled the contractor deals, the legal paperwork, the bank filings. At least that's what he said he was doing. Whenever I asked for documents, he said, "Don't worry, bro. I got this handled. You focus on the renovation." And I did, because I trusted him the way you trust blood, the way you trust your own heartbeat. But then small things started feeling off. Invoices that didn't match, money that didn't line up. Contractors calling me asking about late payments I didn't know existed. Every time I questioned it, he smiled and said, "Relax, Ethan. You worry too much. That's why you need me." And I let myself believe that, because denial is easier than facing the truth. The house finally sold. We made $92,000 profit, but the check never hit our shared account. One day I logged in and saw $4,800 remaining. Less than 5% of what we earned. I called Ryan. No answer. I called again. No answer. Then finally a single text. "I'll explain later. Don't freak out." That was the moment my chest tightened. Not because of the missing money, but because I suddenly knew something inside him had already left me long before this. He finally met me 2 days later. Not looking sorry. Not looking scared. Looking annoyed. "Look, Ethan. You've never taken risks. You play safe. That's why you needed me. I used the money for a better deal. A bigger investment. Relax, you'll thank me later." I asked him one question. "Did you sign anything in my name?" He smirked. "You said we're partners. I just made decisions for both of us." That moment didn't feel like betrayal. Felt like a funeral. Not of money, but of trust. Of everything I believed we were. You know what happens after betrayal? Silence. Days where you can't eat. Nights where you stare at the ceiling, blaming yourself for every missed warning sign. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell friends. Because how do you say, "My own brother stole from me and I still don't hate him"? I just hate myself. I fell into a hole so deep I stopped checking my phone. I stopped working. I stopped caring if life moved on without me. Some days I didn't even get out of bed. And the worst part wasn't the money. It was the humiliation. The feeling that I was stupid, predictable, easy to manipulate. That's what betrayal does. It doesn't just break you. It makes you blame yourself for being broken. The turning point wasn't dramatic. No big speech. No lightning moment. It was just one afternoon, when I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back. I wasn't mourning the loss anymore. I was mourning the version of myself that trusted too easily. And something in my chest finally snapped. If he can be cold, then so can I. I didn't want forgiveness. I didn't want to move on. I wanted truth. I wanted justice. I wanted Ryan to feel even half of what I felt. Not through violence. Not through anger. Through consequence. Here's what most people don't realize. The system protects liars. Until someone smarter learns how to use that system against them. I started digging. I pulled emails, bank statements, property filings, contracts, voice messages, all the things I ignored because I trusted him. I printed everything, created a timeline, built a case. Then I learned something that changed everything. When Ryan signed paperwork under my name, he committed felony forgery. And when he used business funds for personal use, he committed tax fraud. And when he moved money into a private account, he committed embezzlement. I didn't scream. I didn't warn him. I didn't give him a chance to apologize. I hired an attorney. I filed a civil lawsuit. And I reported the fake filings to the IRS. Because when someone burns the bridge, you don't walk back and ask why. You build a legal fire big enough for them to see the smoke from every direction. The day they arrested him, I didn't go to see it, but he called me from jail. Ethan, why are you doing this to me? We're family. And I said the coldest words I've ever spoken in my life. Family doesn't start with blood. It starts with loyalty. And you left this family long before I did. He went silent. For the first time I heard fear in his voice. Not regret. Not guilt. Fear. Because people like Ryan never expect the quiet ones to fight back. It's been almost 2 years now. I got part of my money back, not all of it. I rebuilt my business slowly, painfully. And yes, sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it. Because revenge doesn't heal you. It just stops the bleeding. Healing, that's something you have to do alone. People ask me if I forgive him. No, I don't. But I don't hate him anymore either. I just finally understand who he always was, and who I needed to become to survive it. If there's one thing I learned, it's this. Trust is not a weakness, but trusting the wrong person can destroy everything you are. So if you're listening to this and you've been betrayed by a lover, a friend, a brother, don't rush to forgive. Don't rush to forget. Just learn. Become sharper. Become wiser. And don't ever let the person who hurt you define the rest of your life. Because survival isn't about staying whole. It's about learning how to live, even with the cracks.